Good morning, everyone. How are you? This is Jodie Siemens from Taking Perspective. If you're in my Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group, you will be watching me live right now, and you'll also be able to see the PowerPoint presentation. If you'd like a copy of this, just send me a DM and I will get a copy of it to you. I think you can also download it from Facebook once it's finished. So you can give that a go too. I'm no longer running them live on my profile. I sort of decided that that if people wanted to see them, they could register for them or they could join the group, because that's what being in the group is ideally all about, you guys getting more and more content. Okay, so today's webinar is, and for those of you who are new to the group, I will introduce myself again. Basically, Jodie Siemens, the admin to the group. This is my business and I'm a lifestyle accountability and mindset coach. I do apologise if you can hear my dogs barking in the background. I run 15 to 20 minute webinars every week, and on a Friday live at 9 a.m. I often, weekly, you will get a link in the group to register for the webinar. If you cannot make it live, you will get it emailed to you if you register. So yeah, this week we are talking about sustaining your drive and why we need to. This was a topic that one of the members of the group brought up a few weeks ago. I'm just going to close my window. Hopefully that helps. It's always the way. Nothing like going live. So this is sustaining your drive and why we need to, is a topic that one of the members of the Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group came up with, just to sort of help her get through a few things in what's happening in her life. So here it is. Okay, so sustaining your drive and why we need to. Today's topics, what we're going to discuss is why do we need to sustain our drive and why is it so important? We will also be discussing how do we find our purpose and motivation. And then we will move on, how do we sustain our motivation in our everyday life? So from all the work that I've done and the research that I've found, there's a pretty clear distinction. And the key distinction between sustained motivation and fleeting motivation is disciplined effort. I know that may seem a little bit harsh, but it is definitely just disciplined effort on your behalf. And so today we're going to chat about how we can sustain that disciplined effort. Okay, so motivation doesn't sustain itself. One of the things about motivation is you are a part of the process, and those who relentlessly, if I can get my tongue around that, those who relentlessly pursue their goals and dreams with focused discipline and pure ambitious effort are people who tend to sustain their motivation quite easily. So it's really about being in line with what you want to do and striving for that. So when you give more disciplined effort, you will automatically feel more motivated to keep moving. So the ability to sustain your drive provides you with goals to work towards and the drive to get there. It helps you solve problems. It helps you change old habits. And it also helps you cope with challenges and opportunities. Success is not achieved within periods of fleeting motivation. Okay. I think that's really important with people, that it's that consistency that you need to show up. So our goals and dreams, our long-term successes, these things are only really achieved while we sustain and stay motivated for long periods of time. It's not about being motivated briefly, fleetingly, as I've described it. It's really about sustaining that motivation for long periods of time. And our abilities and our desires to get up every day and pursue our dreams is what separates us from those with high levels of motivation from those who have what we call a fleeting commitment to their goals and dreams. So nothing is particularly hard if you break it down into small jobs. Our purpose, you know what you want to know, okay? You know what you want. The purpose of having a purpose is to imbue your life with meaning. When you let your purpose be your guiding star and you work the means towards it, you experience the joy of fulfillment of a well-lived life. So we must become aware of our desires. And when we choose them, whether or not we're in alignment with it or not, we have to work out whether it warrants our dedication and the time required to fulfill it. So if you make a conscious effort, so what I'm trying to say is if you make a conscious effort and work towards completing a task and achieving your goals because it satisfies your needs and desires, you'll find that the motivation to keep sustaining and moving forward will be automated because you're in alignment with what you're doing. Okay. Motivation is a commitment. It's a conscious act. It's a choice that we make. And when we aspire to be greater, we consciously choose to work harder towards our objective. And that's whatever that objective is for you. So we require a conscious need, okay? We require the conscious need, the desire, and it's about that sustaining commitment and putting that into action. It's about doing what is required to reach the goal, okay? So when we look for our purpose, we often ask ourselves questions like, who am I? Why do I exist? What is my role? What job should I have? How did I get here? Okay, if you go through these questions, they can be quite deep. So it's about really being in tune with who you are and really finding out what your purpose is and what you are aligned with. Okay, when we define our personal purpose, we really define what purpose means to us as individuals. And this is about working out what it is that you're passionate about. So if you're doing tasks that you're passionate about, do you find that task easy to do? All right. Do you find time flying by? Do you have a sense of joy in you when you're doing it? So these are the things that you look for. You'll notice that they're not just psychological changes, they're physical changes too, because when we have that feeling of joy, we find our shoulders are a little bit back, we're a little bit opened, and we have love and joy in our hearts, we feel it. So it's about the physiological and the psychological changes that being in alignment and having your purpose is about. And there are so many questionnaires out there that you can do that can help you work out your alignment. So for those of you who are in the Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group, I'm going to pop a link there that you can follow and you can have a look and see if you see what your purpose is. It's just a little questionnaire. Give it a go and see what comes up. And you can also answer these questions here. Okay. How do we sustain our motivation in our everyday life? When motivation begins to decline, we really need to take an honest look at our effort. So often it's not our dreams or goals that have weathered over time. It's usually our discipline, which is quite interesting. So discipline and continual effort is the key. If you are in alignment with your goal, you will feel automatically more motivated to do so. So continuing despite setbacks, hardships, even perhaps something when you feel like stopping, the key is keeping motivated, because it's something that you just innately want to do. It's a part of who you are. Okay, so being in aligned with your task will naturally motivate you. So if you're in the workplace, for example, we'll talk about our jobs here. If you're in the workplace and possibly the task or the job itself isn't what you're aligned with, it isn't who you are, well, you might be sort of in for a rude shock, but you probably need to know this. A job that's perfectly aligned with you and your authentic expression is potentially going to unlikely exist. Okay, we may be in positions where we are more aligned with who we are and the position that we hold in our life work-wise, but you never truly are in a position where you are completely aligned and completely expressing your authentic self. So you may find that a little bit discouraging, but don't, because there is ways that you can work with that. Everyone who says that they love their job, that's perfect, but there's always something about that job that they don't like. Okay, so it's up to you to build the coherence between your job and your purpose, so that when your work permeates into your life, it comes with a sense of meaning. All right. So here I have a few tips. So think about aspects of your job that drain you and see how you can use your strengths to feel more engaged in those aspects of that job. All right. You may also consider which tasks or roles maybe you perform better than others. So you can use this to free up your time, and it will help bring out the best in you if you're able to do that. All right. We can, and the next step, we can still find purpose in what we do by seeing how the job allows us to pursue our vision on the side. So perhaps your job that you're in at the moment gives you time and the financial support, maybe the fringe benefits allow you to take time out with your children, express your passions, or the more important causes that you feel more deeply about. So it's important to understand that there's a connection that you can feel grateful for and engage in your job, because it's actually helping you express yourself outside of your job, right? So it's a good way to sort of remind yourself that there's no single relationship that can answer all your needs, and a job cannot be the only means to the difference that you make in the world, ideally. Okay, so just remember that you may not be in the place where you want to be, but it may give you the space and the time to do what you want to do outside of that place. Okay, so the third tip is there is always a possibility that your job is totally misaligned with your values and that you are forced to be part of decisions you disagree with at your very core. And this can be quite a hard one for some people. I know it has for myself in the past. So needless to say, life is too short to sell your soul out. Okay. I'm not telling you to go quit your jobs or anything like that, but it's really about if your soul certainly questions and torments you about the choices that you make, in such cases, you need to really get more in tune with what you're looking for. Target a job search and start thinking about how you can change that aspect of your life if that's the road you want to go down. As I said, I'm not telling you to go quit your jobs, so please don't quit your jobs, but just really get in tune with yourself and maybe start seeking alternatives. Okay. So in summary, what we've got is the key distinction between sustained motivation and fleeting motivation is your disciplined effort. Okay. Motivation will not sustain itself. Motivation is a commitment, and it is a conscious choice that we all need to take action. So knowing what your purpose is and how you fit into the world, it is intrinsically motivating. You will just tune into the difference. It's amazing. So for all those, again, in the Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's group, I will pop this link in the comment for the quiz that I spoke about earlier, In Search of Your Purpose. You can also register. This will also go in the email for those registered for the webinar. So a job perfectly aligned with your authentic self is unlikely to exist. I am sorry. For those of you listening, you may disagree, and that's okay. As I said, we don't like every aspect of our job. So, there's some things that cause us to feel dissonance towards certain parts of it. All right. So you may find that you're in for a long, discouraging wait in your workplace if you are in that position and have that belief. So it's really up to you to build the coherence between your job and your purpose so that your work permeates into your life and gives you a sense of meaning. And, it's really about what that means for you. So you can go about by seeing how you can use your strengths to feel more engaged in the workplace. You can see how your job allows you to pursue your vision outside of the workplace. You can remind yourself that no single relationship gives you everything that you need, and sometimes you need to seek outside of that relationship to find the difference that you can make in the world. And by that I mean your work-life relationship. So, and there's always the possibility that you might be misaligned and you may have some quite dissonant feelings with your values in regards to your workplace. So if that is happening, I do suggest you delve into that a little bit deeper and work out what's the best course of action for you. Okay, so here we are at the end. Thank you, everyone who jumped online and registered for this webinar, Sustaining Your Drive. For those who didn't make it today, you will be receiving a copy of the webinar in your email box, so look forward to that. I will also provide a link to the How's Your Focus webinar from last week. I do believe they certainly cross over. So if you didn't get to see that, I'll provide that link. I will also provide the link for the quiz, so you can go through the quiz in search of your purpose. You can also find me on Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Anchor or Spotify. I have a podcast now called Empowering Ordinary Women. So the audio from these get uploaded, and I am in the process of securing some wonderful life coaches to run some live interviews. So that's pretty exciting stuff. Lots of work going on in the background. So if you're not a member of my Facebook group, Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women, please do come across. There is links on my profile page where you can come in and join, and there's usually links spread out through my profile. So next week's is the Friday the 25th of February. time is flying. Can't believe we're heading into the third week in February. And next week's webinar is going to be on effective decision making. So these webinars that I've done over the last few weeks really sort of overlap in different areas. So do be sure to catch that one also. So the webinars are live at 9 a.m. in Organisational Secrets for Empowered Women's Group. And you can follow the link to register so you can get this in your email box and or watch it at your own leisure. Thank you all again for joining me this morning. And I look forward to speaking with you all again soon. Thank you. Bye.